welcome back to Assorted Beefs, where I talk about anything I want to that doesn't fit into niche tea for any particular reason. There are multiple children in our house, so you're gonna hear children. I was gonna do this tomorrow morning, but I know yard work will catch me, so I'm gonna do it now. And the updates to this are super fresh, so we're right on top of it for once, which is rare. We're talking about the Trade Me project. Here's your George Tax. I hope everyone has a lovely weekend. Starting with some quick background, the Trade Me project is an account here on TikTok and is run by a woman named Demi. Demi also has a book that talks about this whole process where she started with a bobby pin that she then traded for something else, that she then traded for something else, and the things get slightly better in value as she goes. And she does this for long enough that eventually she gets to a point where she trades it into a house. This isn't entirely unique. I remember seeing something like this early on in the pandemic on TikTok as well. So she's not the only person to do this, but it doesn't matter. This is still a very interesting concept. And anybody who could pull this off, like the amount of time and dedication required to do a thing like that is insane. And then in the end, she renovated that house and gave it to somebody, which is amazing. Supposedly thousands of people sent Demi emails about why they wanted the house and how they could use it, and she ended up choosing a woman named Shay, who is young. I believe she's literally like 18, 19 as this happens. Demi posted a video of her visiting Shay and surprising her to tell her that she had won. It had very strong like publisher clearinghouse vibes. Very sweet all around. And this happened in 2022, so as far as everyone knew, we were golden. Shay had a house, the project was cool, and Demi was moving on to the next. Until quite literally a couple days ago, because Shay posted a video saying when I won a house from a TikToker, but then was literally banned from the property. And everyone's like, what do you mean you were banned from the property? And in the comments of that video, Shay says that she was banned from the house because of the mess, which allegedly, I didn't see a screenshot of this exactly, but allegedly that was because Shay is claiming that there was black mold in the house. And there were several other comments of people saying that in the videos of the renovation that Demi did, you could see black mold, but I haven't seen that myself. So Shay is saying the black mold is the reason she didn't move in and that Demi left the mold and then Demi kicked Shay out because of the mold is what Shay seems to be alleging. Shay also says there is a rumor that she didn't pay the property taxes for the property, but that she never actually owned the property because Demi never actually signed the property over to her, so she couldn't have paid the property taxes. And then finally, Shay alleges that there were a whole bunch of packages that were at the house that belonged to Shay that Demi ended up taking and getting rid of or doing something with and wouldn't give back to her. And she claims all of these things together are the reason why she made this video now, even though it has been like a year and a half maybe since she was supposed to have taken over the house. People were obviously very upset for Shay when they heard this because, you know, Demi got a whole bunch of clout and got a bunch of partnerships with major brands for this project, etc. She has millions and millions of followers, so if this was all basically a scam, then that's awful. This is a 19-year-old. Why would you do this to them? And there have been a number of comments left on Demi's, Instagram, her TikTok, etc., talking about this specific thing, like, hey, what is going on? Why did you ban Shay? What is happening? And for a couple of days, Demi didn't say anything. But a couple of hours ago, Demi did respond, and her information is fairly compelling with evidence. Demi starts out her video saying that she's sad she has to make this video and that she had intentionally not brought this to TikTok to protect Shay. Shay is 19, and it just made her very sad, the whole thing that was going on, and she had been trying to resolve it with Shay for the last year and a half and didn't want it to come to this. She then proceeds to tell the story from her POV, which was once the handoff happened of the house, Shay and her boyfriend, her pets, etc. came to the house. They sent her a video of them at the house. She thought everything was great. And then they went back to, I believe, Pennsylvania, where Shay lives. Now, part of the promotion that Demi did was she put together an Amazon wish list for Shay so that viewers like us could go and buy things for Shay as like a congratulations, welcome to your new home type of thing. Well, Demi allegedly gets a message, and she shows a screenshot of a message from a alleged neighbor of this new house saying, hey, there's a ton of packages out front and they're getting wet. Like they're piling up and nobody's picking them up. Demi claims that she works with this neighbor and the neighbor agrees to help manage those packages and put them somewhere until Shay is able to get back. Demi then shows lots and lots of screenshots of her contacting Shay over and over again about when are you coming back to the house? Are you going to come move in? Are you going to pick up these packages? She claims that she was holding these packages for Shay for several months. Well, the neighbor was, I believe, and eventually they decided to donate them because there was zero indication from Shay that she was going to be moving back. Nothing in the screenshots that Demi shows indicates that she was upset with Shay about this, and she certainly doesn't express any upset. She's very understanding that it's an overwhelming situation, and this is a young person who's been thrown into some good fortune, but the house is a big distance from where she currently lives. There's a lot of logistics which go along with it, so she was very understanding of this. But then again, as time goes forward, Demi continues to contact Shay over and over and over again, and she does show screenshots of this, which, unless they are fake, look to represent what she is saying accurately. And Shay usually has a reason why she's not back out there yet. And eventually, for one reason or another, Demi ends up going back out to the house, and what they find is a disaster. I'm not even entirely clear when this would have happened. I guess it's from the initial stay when Shay first went out there, which would, at the time Demi went back, would have been a year ago, but the place is trashed. So at this point, based on timestamps, it looks like it's been over a year since this house was supposed to have been given to Shay. And some of those messages back and forth where Demi is checking in on Shay also involve her saying, hey, I want to transfer this stuff over to you. Are you ready? The paperwork and everything. So when people say why didn't you give her the house? She tried. But once Demi saw what the condition of the house was, she basically just said, I'm really disappointed and sad about what's going on here. You still haven't moved in. This is what this looks like. Someone could have been in this house. So I'm going to take it back at this point, which again, assuming these screenshots are legitimate, Shay seems to understand and be regretful. That was as of last August. So you're talking 7 months ago. And again, Demi has not brought this up on her own at all. If Shay hadn't made that video, no one would have known any of this. And I'm unclear on what Shay's motives could have possibly been when this all concluded so long ago. I also don't see anything in any of these screenshots between Demi and Shay about black mold. I don't see Shay saying, hey, this is a problem, or I didn't know how to bring this up to you, but there was black mold and I was scared to move in. I didn't see anything along those lines. But simultaneously, I do want to acknowledge that Demi doesn't directly address this issue of whether there was black mold or not in her response video. But in addition to that, as of right now, Shay's entire TikTok is gone. Initial video is gone. Her entire account is clear. There is an outside chance in my mind that maybe as a 19-year-old, 18-year-old, she would have felt too ungrateful by going to Demi and being like, hey, it looks like there's black mold in this house that you gave me. So maybe that's why it's not in DMs. And because I imagine if it was in DMs, then Shay would show it. But the way Shay talked about the packages being mishandled when they very clearly weren't, unless Demi again is faking those screenshots, leads me to believe that Shay is not being truthful in her account of the situation. I'm very sad for everyone in this. I feel like this was something that had a lot of potential to be really, really good, and that was kind of all sucked out of it.